my time in the California Youth Authority. Let's get into it. So, let's just get right into it. I've been to the California Youth Authority. I went back in 1993. And back then, it was, the times were a lot different. It's like kind of the same, but back then there was a lot of like gang banging and it was serious back then. It was a little more serious, like I want to say a little more serious than it was today, than it is today, But so, as you can see, I'm not wearing my work sweatshirt. Well, I come from a very small neighborhood, very, very small neighborhood, surrounded by, other fairly sized, neighborhoods, but in the youth authority, it was like, it was different. It was like, if you were from a big neighborhood, 18th Street, one of these big neighborhoods, from the Inland Empire. If you were from, back then it was the Inland Empire. If you were from Ontario, San Bernardino, Mount Vernon, West Side, places like that, they were deep, Me, I was just always alone. Those big neighborhoods don't want to have anything to do. Back then, they didn't want to have anything to do with some dude from some random neighborhood they never even heard of, So, it was a rough place to come up at, and to become an adult, you become an adult in that place. You go in there as a juvenile, you come out as an adult, And I hear all these other channels, they've been to the youth authority, they talk about it, and everybody pretty much has the same opinion. When you go to the youth authority, it doesn't really matter where you've been or what, like I've been to a few different institutions, and you come out with a certain chip on your shoulder, like, because everybody, let's be real. If you went to the youth authority, everybody has to fight. Everybody has to participate. Everybody's going to participate in that. Me as well, I participated in that. I don't really want to get into no like war stories or anything like that, because they're all the same, Some people, like some people are badder than others, it's like, it is what it is, what I mean? Like, trust me, I wasn't no bad dude, but if it went down, I was there, it went down, what I mean? But I went in as a teenager. Let's see, 1996. I got out at 1997. And I was 20. And I didn't know how to act, My neighborhood's so little. I was the only person that had ever been to the youth authority. Nobody from my neighborhood had ever been there before. I was the first one. So imagine that, being from your neighborhood, being in the neighborhood with everybody. You get out, everybody's just like, damn, this fool just got out of the youth authority. Other neighborhoods, they had tons of dudes. They got dudes all over going in there, But, like, to get, back on track, I don't even know if it exists anymore, the youth authority. I keep hearing things saying that it closed down and all that stuff, but it was a horrible place. It was a horrible place. And if you hear anything you hear about rumors of this happening, or somebody got raped, or somebody, whatever, something random, then it probably happened, It was a horrible place. It was corrupt. The guards were corrupt. Everything was just, my experience in there, they didn't care. They would stop fights if it was in the open. But yeah, there was a lot of fights in the open. I can't admit, I admit that. But there was a lot of them in the blinds, like it depended on where you were at, but what place you were at. But the blinds were everywhere, it was like, that's where the majority of it happened. But they knew you know, everybody's behind the handball court. Why is there 20 guys behind the handball court today? They you know, come on, it wasn't, you know. And if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about, you know, like, yeah, you know. But it was a horrible place, and combat, hand-to-hand combat was like a daily thing, you know. Like, if it wasn't you, it was your Sally, or you know, it was. But you know, you're getting it, you know, twice a week at least, you know, getting it on. It's like, you know, it was a terrible place, you know. And it made me, it just turned me into, like, I don't know, I just didn't care about being locked up or anything like that, you know. It didn't really faze me at all to go back on a violation, to anything, you know. I was on parole, youth authority parole, for years. I never caught a new case, but I just kept all the way till I was 25. I got out when I was 20, and then I was just in and out every year for, you know, petty stuff, you know, just violating my parole, dirty test, just everything under the, you know, absconding parole, just not checking in, just, you know, just everything, you know. Not trying to glorify it, because it was a horrible place, you know. That's why I don't want to tell war stories, because it was a terrible place. I don't, you know, it was, you know. But that was just a brief story about me and the youth authority, you know. I'll get into a little more details later, you know. No glorifying nothing. I don't want to glorify anything, so I'm not going to tell stories like that, you know. But I'll tell you the horrible sides, you know. Not the violence, just everything else. Violence is just one part of it, you know. There's a lot of other things. All right, everybody. Subscribe, like. I almost forgot. I'm supposed to say that at the beginning of the video, aren't I? I'm sorry about that. If you guys can, I doubt anybody's still watching the video, but if you are, like, subscribe, you know, I appreciate it, you know. Everybody, God bless you, and have a good day.